a bit of music of my own songwriting, not to impress you, not to show you what I can do, but to inspire you that you too can learn to play guitar like me, like anybody else, and you can possibly even better, you know. The only missing link between you and this is the proper guitar and music education, okay? This is a musical instrument, and the sure and fastest way to educate yourself to play this is to at least understand a bit about music, alright? My name is Alex Arienda, and I am inviting you to my series of guitar lesson videos that will guide you to the right direction in learning to play the guitar, okay? I am dedicating this work to all my friends everywhere because I used to travel a lot, and in every place that I have been, every time that I get near to a guitar and played something and sing, somebody will ask me later if I can teach them or their kids how to play the guitar too. Too bad I don't always have enough time to really share what I can give them. So now I really thought about doing these videos for me to be able to reach them all. And all you have to do now is watch this video and you can learn by yourself, provided that you have your own guitar with you, alright? Actually, I have started writing this guitar method book some 20 years ago, and this is the way I teach guitar to my students. Now, this first 3 parts is for those who are absolutely beginners in learning to play this amazing musical instrument. Well, I won't promise you any easy way to learn to play the guitar, but I developed a system or a method that will help guitar students understand music carefully and eventually learn faster in a step-by-step and comprehensive manner. I won't say it's easy, but you will find out that it's not hard, you know? It's not hard at all, alright? Now, in this first video, we will focus first on finger preparation, right? This is actually one of the most important informations that almost all beginners are missing. That's why they are struggling for so much time just to learn a few chords and eventually lose interest later. Now, I have been playing guitars for more than 35 years now, and I've been teaching guitars for almost 20 years already. And in my early years of teaching guitars to students, especially kids, I have experienced a few students who suddenly gave up and quit learning. After attending a few sessions, they suddenly stopped showing up. So I wondered why, and I asked their parents why, of course. Now, it is of extreme importance that we should talk about those reasons why first before we get started, right? Well, I realized this a long time ago, and I kept telling this to my students. When I was in high school, I was into sports. I was running the 100-meter dash on track and field, and also swimming. And in my experience in sports training, like for example basketball, you will need to go through a lot of exercises first, okay? All of those stretchings, bendings, running exercise, footwork before you even get to hold a basketball. It's just the same with guitar, you know. You need to prepare your fingers first before you even attempt to press any chord on your guitar. Otherwise, like in sports, you might get hurt or you might get injured. Or it will take you so much time just to learn a few things, then you will quit later, alright? Especially self-taught students, they jump right away into pressing chords on their guitar, and most of them quit after experiencing some difficulties. And this is true. Yeah, this is true. Actually, there are 3 common difficulties that most of my beginner students are complaining, right? But it's just natural, you know. Everything that we want to achieve in our lives, we will have to face some challenging circumstances at first. That's for sure, okay? That's life. But if I will tell you that no pain, no gain, it will only sound like a punishment, right? It is very simple actually, okay? Remember this, all right? If there is a will, there will always be a way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to supply you with all the ways that I know for you to maintain your will. So if you're up to that, you think this is a good deal with you, then let's continue, all right? About the first difficulty, I had the same problem back when I was 13 years old and I was trying to learn to play guitar. Okay, you see, most guitars have, most acoustic guitars and electric guitars have steel strings. Okay, so it is not a surprise that it will be painful to your fingertips at the beginning. As far as I can remember, I almost gave up too. You know, all right. It's just a good thing that I really love to sing. I really love singing, even if I don't have that much of a good voice. I really wanted to sing while playing any instrument like piano or drums, anything. But I pursued to learn to play guitar because this instrument is one of the easiest to carry along anywhere when I am traveling, right? And I can sing with it. So what do we need to do now with that painful fingertips problem? Find any hard object and then start tapping your guitar, or get a book, or on the top of the table, or on the wall, anywhere, as long as you don't hurt yourself, okay? Never hurt yourself, okay? Just tap very lightly. And then in about 60 seconds of tapping, you will feel a bit of pain in your fingertips. Just massage them, and then after a while tap again, okay? I have proven this with myself and my students, so I guarantee you, in just a day of tapping and every available time that you can, the next morning when you start pressing chords on your guitar, you won't feel that much pain anymore, okay? You can tolerate the pain already because your fingertips became numb already. So you can try that now, you know. Now, another thing that will make you feel uncomfortable when pressing chords on your guitar is that there is a great possibility that your guitar has a high string action. What I mean is the distance between the strings and the fretboard. Because if it is too high, you will need to exert so much effort just to press a chord, and definitely it will hurt your fingertips. Even me, I've been playing guitars for many years already, but if I will use a guitar with a high string action, I will still feel pain in my fingertips, okay? So here's how it's supposed to be. In the first fret here, the distance between the strings and the first fret line, this small metal here, should not be more than 2 millimeters, okay? And then at the end of the fretboard here, on the last fret line, the distance of the strings between the fret line, the last fret line, should not be more than 5 millimeters. Otherwise, it is too high, and then you will have a hard time pressing chords on your guitar. Yeah. So, if you are planning to buy guitar, I believe you must consider this information, alright? Especially if the guitar that you are going to buy is not a signature brand. Some people just buy guitar because of the nice design or the color, and then when they get home, they realize it's hard to use it because of the high string action. Then they will lose interest in using the instrument, okay? The worst that could happen is dump the instrument in the basement and eventually lose the chance of learning. Nothing could be worse than losing your chance in learning anything, okay? This happens most of the time. I have experience in a lot of my students with this kind of problem, and I made sure to fix it first before starting any lesson, right? Now, if you already have a guitar in your house and then you realize that yes, your guitar has a high string action, you can go to the guitar shop and ask somebody to do something about it. But in my case, I always modify my guitar myself. Like this one. This is a local brand guitar, but it does the job, yeah? And I've been using this for more than 12 years already. This used to have a high string action also. I just modified it, okay? There are so many ways you can do that. You just need to be a bit productive, you know. I used an old hacksaw blade and a cutter to lower down the strings here. Or you can use a steel file, if you know that, okay, to lower down the nut. Okay, so if you would decide to modify your guitar by yourself, it's just fine. Just be very careful not to overdo it, because you might damage the nut here, and then you will need to replace that. Okay, so difficulty number one can be solved. Right, tap your fingers and modify your guitars when needed. Okay, now let's talk about the second complaint of most of my students. Okay, sir, I can't make the chord because I can't reach the fret. My fingers are short. I told them, no, 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 no. Your fingers are never short, you know. You can go and watch YouTube and you will see some 6-year-old kid, 9-year-old kid playing piano on the guitar with their tiny little fingers. My goodness. It's not the short fingers that's the problem. It is just that this is the first time that you are going to use your fingers on the fretboard. So most likely you cannot reach those fret distance at first. It may be too wide for your fingers. So what you need to do now is, like in sports, stretch them like this. Okay? Gather your 4 fingers from your other hand and use them to stretch it and separate your left fingers. Okay? Left hand fingers. And if you are planning to learn to play piano later in the future, you can start stretching the other hand as well. Because in piano, you're going to use both of your hands, alright? Now, you can also stretch your fingers using the neck of your guitar like this. Okay. And another one is do this. Stretch out your fingers like this, and then in about 15 seconds, stop and then shake. Then do it again. 15 seconds, stop, shake. Do this several times and you will see that your fingers can already reach the fret distance in no time. Okay, so difficulty number 2 is solved. Okay, that's how you're going to open up your fingers wide. Now let's move on to the third one. Your fingers can reach the fret distance already, no problem, right? But as soon as you strum, you notice that you can't create a good quality sound. You know why? Those strings that you are pressing are not actually creating any sound. They are muted. So why? It is the first time that you are going to press chords with your fingers. So normally your fingers doesn't have that much strength yet to grip, to hold, to press a chord. So what you need to do is you need to build muscles first for your fingers by doing this pinching exercise. Okay, pinching exercise. Some students even buy that small finger exercise equipment from the music store. Well, in my opinion, it's just a luxury equipment. You don't need to buy that anymore. It will only cost you extra expenses, alright? Extra money. Pinching exercise can already do the workout, okay? Now, these 2 fingers here are strong enough already. But how about this one? Your ring finger. We don't use this that much, you know. So, especially this one. Your pinky finger, we are never using this. So, now is the time for you to strengthen them because we are going to use them now, all the time. So, difficulty number 3 is solved again. So, that's it. Imagine that. In just a day of tapping, stretching, and pinching exercise, the next morning you will feel that your fingers are ready and able to do their job in learning to play the guitar. Makes sense, right? Makes sense. Now, let me add a couple of very important tips and finger exercises to make your fingers ready, flexible, and not stubborn, right? Not stubborn, because that's also another problem. It's the first time that you're going to use your finger on the guitar, so they might still be stubborn, okay? They won't follow you that easy, alright? You cannot expect them to obey you instantly. So here is a very, very helpful exercise for that. Train your brain to create a connection between your brain and your finger by sending out command signals to your fingers, okay? Your fingers will be numbered 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? Keep that in mind because that will be your permanent numbering of your fingers all throughout this video series, okay? Now, command your fingers to do this with your thumb. Connect them one by one with this number pattern, okay? 1, 3, 2, 4. 1, 3, 2, 4. 1, 3, 2, 4. Start slow and then make it faster later. 1, 3, 2, 4. 1, 3, 2, 4. 1, 3, 2, 4. 1, 3, 2, 4. And then do it without looking. 1, 3, 2, 4. 1, 3, 2, 4. 1, 3, 2, 4. Okay? So now, you might not be looking, but you are training your mind to send command signals to your fingers. And by the time you are starting to learn to play guitar, you can tell them what to do and they will follow you, okay? They will not be stubborn anymore because your brain and your fingers already have a link, okay? You can ask them now. Later, you will never have to think about them anymore. They will instantly follow you, whatever you want them to do, okay? It will save you time in practicing. I have seen a lot of students struggle for a couple of chords in a month and still did not gone so far. My goodness. And sometimes it's so funny to see some of those students I saw who's using their right hand to help out their left hand fingers to shift and move. Well, you can never play guitar like this, huh? And you will never see any guitar player on stage playing guitar like that, right? Because your right hand here has its own job too. And we are going to talk about this right hand on the third video, okay? Almost all of my students can learn and play the 6 chords after the second session or after the second video. 2 sessions and my students can already play the initial 6 chords, memorize those chords, and most likely sing songs already using my method. I have developed this system through experience and influences from other musical instruments, especially piano. I have adapted most of the idea of piano into guitar. And most of the topics here can be very useful too in learning other stringed musical instrument. Okay? Now, here's another one that will help your fingers become flexible. Right? Do this exercise. It is just like you're scratching something, but you will start with your finger number 4, and then 3, 2, and 1. Do this as fast as you can. And then, in about 60 seconds of doing this, you will feel a bit of pain at the back of your hands here. You stop, then you shake. And then after a while, do it again. 60 seconds, stop, and shake. Every time that you are doing any finger exercise, when you get tired, stop and shake your hands, okay? That's it. So, in just one day of doing these exercises, your fingers will follow your commands already. They are already prepared to do the job that you will want them to do. To understand music is practically easy, but believe me, it's your fingers that will give you a hard time if you don't know how to train them, right? Now, last but not the least, here is one of my very, very important finger preparation exercise. In piano lessons, all the books have what we call finger drills as preparation for the lesson to follow. Now, I'm going to give you one important finger drill in guitar that will be very useful in the next video and the videos to follow, okay? This will be very useful in easy way of changing chords, memorizing chords, and adding design to your playing ability, okay? Now, let's divide your fingers into 2 groups, shall we? The first group is the 1 and the 4 fingers. Now, most of the time, these 2 fingers are moving one by one, independently, alright? So, you must exercise them independently. 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4. Send command signals from your brain, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4. And then, 60 seconds, stop, and shake, okay? Make several repetitions of this every now and then to prepare your fingers for the next video, alright? Now, the second group is, of course, the second and the third finger. Now, most of the time, these 2 are working together, okay? Moving together, jumping together, shifting together. So, you must exercise them together, like this. And just the same with the first group, stop and shake. Alright, you got it? Now, this finger drill will greatly help you with the initial 6 chords on the next video and all of the chords ahead. So, make sure you exercise them first. Alright? So, I hope that you got the most out of this video. This first part is actually very important in your journey to learn to play this instrument. This will speed up your skill training. So, be sure to watch this video first before you start learning guitar. Because like in sports, before you even get to shoot a basketball, before you even get to run in a field, before you even get to swim in the pool, you will need to go through a lot of exercises and stretchings first. In the army, before they send you to war, you will have to go through a lot of extensive training. It's just the same with your guitar, alright? Before you begin in learning to play your guitar, before you send your fingers to the battlefield, prepare them first, alright? Train them to follow you. Then, everything that you want to learn in playing your guitar will be a lot easier and so much faster. There will be a lot of finger drills that I will include all throughout this guitar video series that I have prepared for you, right? All of these informations will be difficult to learn if you don't prepare your fingers first. But if your fingers are ready, I won't say it's easy. I have never said to my students that it's easy. But my students always say, it's not hard. Okay, it's not hard at all. We will see about that later, alright? So, if you like this video, please subscribe on my channel, or you can share this, whatever you do. I don't really care so much about it, alright? What I really care the most is for you to have fun and learning accurately and fast, alright? So, see you in my next video. We will be talking about music already, right? Have fun and learning. Ciao. Okay?